there's where we live in. We are Ghanaians. We live in Ghana. The sub-region is in a very delicate situation. All right, we have become a haven of stability and democracy in a very volatile region. Sierra Leone have had wars. Liberia has had wars. Nigeria has had wars. Cote d'Ivoire has had a war. And those are like 4 neighbors, right? Togo has had dictatorships for years. Eyadema took over for long. His son has also been in power for a long time. So in West Africa, I say Ghana and Benin have been quite okay. Burkina Faso had Blaise Compaoré. Since he left, the place has never been the same.
Senegal,
Mali is in trouble. Senegal as well has been a bit stable. So Senegal on the west coast. I mean, look at Gambia. For a long time, Yaya Jammeh, okay? So, and in terms of economic might as well, Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, all right? So, Ghana is not that bad compared to the others. But I look at, so that's true, okay? But I look at how between March, June last year and June this year, almost 10,000 nurses have just left. And I'm told that between January and June this year, another 10,102 have applied to leave. Sky. 10,000 people, if they went to Accra Sports Stadium, they'll fill 1/4 of the stadium. That's a lot of people. I mean, 10,000 people is a lot of people. And these are just one profession. All right? And according to the story, over 10,000 nurses applied for clearance to leave the country. And the Ghana Health Service doesn't seem that much alarmed. They are saying that, well, we have 40,000 trained guys coming to replace them, so it's okay. And I'm bringing this because, so you see, when people calculate where to live, especially the young people, I think in addition to the instability in the sub-region, generally, and the general lower quality of life in Africa compared to, say, Europe, or America, or say Australia, economic life, that's what I'm saying, economic. A lot of people feel they don't have a future here. Okay, so they want to leave the country. Meanwhile, I've also seen some people who've lived in the Western world for years wanting to come back, particularly those who have done well. So I've seen people who have done like maybe 20 years in the US, 25 years in the UK, and it's not too old, or maybe this okay, maybe 20 is too much, maybe 15 years. I have mates who left Ghana in 2004 when we finished Legon, and they went to the UK. They are doing well, and they want to come back to Ghana because they've hit a glass ceiling. So like they believe that the work they've done and what they've learned, they should be at a certain level in the Western world. But the Western world is not allowing them to go beyond that level. So when they achieve that glass ceiling, they feel like Ghana is where they should come. I'm sure that's not such a big group. All right. So one of the things I'm worried about, is it that the younger people don't see a future here, but the older people do? Or is it just a question of the circumstance of their employment, which is making 10,000 nurses leave within a year? That's a lot of nurses. 10,000. Right? I mean, Nathan, 10,000.
That's a lot.
Like, let me read a story
Yeah.
for those who may not have listened to my reading of it during the Inspire Review. And I want to credit Elvis Darko for this story. He did a story and then he followed up on it as well. The original story he did was last week. All right? He says, over 8,000 nurses and midwives seek better life abroad since 2022. All right? The story was released August 16. Over 8,000 nurses and midwives trained in Ghana have left the country between January 2022 and June this year. Data from GRNMA shows that about 4,000 nurses and midwives left the country in 2022 to seek green pastures abroad. Between January and June this year, another 4,000 Ghanaian nurses and midwives left Ghana in search of greener pastures abroad. Their data also shows that from January to July this year, 10,000, so apart from the 8K that I've mentioned, a total of 10,000 nurses and midwives sought clearance with the association to travel outside the country. And this travel is not to come back, it's to go. A study revealed that 59.9% of nurses in active practice have immigration intentions. A recent survey of 360 doctors currently practicing in Ghana showed that about 905, sorry, about, I don't understand, 360, okay, so 90%, forgive me, 90%. 360 doctors surveyed in Ghana, 90% have considered leaving the country to move to more developed countries. Mr. Felix Nyante, head of health training institutions at the Ministry of Health, has admonished health professionals who travel to work outside the country not to stay abroad forever. So now we are sort of compromising, right? At the induction of about 1,500 members and associates with different nursing specialties in the GNMC in Accra, he said, "It is our wish that you do not go, so that we stay to build Mother Ghana. If you have made up your mind that tomorrow you are going to the airport, rescind your decision," he said. The new members and associates of the college graduated with special skills in emergency, neonatal, oncology, pediatric, ear, nose, and throat. Guys, look at this. Emergency, neonatal, oncology. I think that's cancer, right? Pediatric, children, ENT, nursing. He said the health service needed trained health professionals to stand in the gap, saying the service has so much confidence in specialized professionals and that the government is prepared to use collaborative methods to make healthcare attractive to all. Mr. Nyante also asked the newly inducted professionals to be innovative and transformational leaders and change health outcomes with their acquired skills. Don't let it be business as usual. Save lives and prevent maternal death, he said. Okay, so first point is about West Africa, instability, Ghana being a haven of democracy, where a lot of people are running from other countries to Ghana. All right, if you go to people are leaving Burkina Faso coming to Ghana. Nigerians are in Ghana. So Ghana is better than some of the West African countries. Yet Ghanaians also want to go. Okay, so that's my first problem. Then the director of Ghana Health Service is now quoted by the same newspaper as saying that, let me read the story word for it so I don't misquote the man. All right, and that story was Saturday, August 19. Over 40,000 trained nurses not employed. Exodus not a problem. All right. And the story says Ghana Health Service has assured that the mass exodus of nurses and other health professionals from Ghana for better income and compensation packages abroad has not negatively impacted the provision of healthcare services in the country. DG of the service, Dr. Patriotism, who gave the assurance at the minister's news briefing in Accra, said the service had recruited 33,625 new staff over the last 3 years to boost its capacity to deliver primary healthcare to Ghanaians. According to him, in the first 6 months of 2023, GHS increased its staffing capacity from 86K to 120K and taking steps to replace those who had left through further training. Over 8,000 nurses and midwives trained in Ghana have left the country between January and June 2022-2023. Data from the association, then he repeats the old story. All right. And then they repeat the old story. Then Dr. Kumabaji stated that the service is rolling out innovative strategies and programs to expand access to primary healthcare in the sub-district level under its network of practice. Then he talks about between 400 and 500 health centers will be upgraded to model ones. All right. So is he being fair to the seriousness of the situation? If you have lost 8,000 people in a year, and he's saying we have 40,000 trained and recruited, so it's not a problem. So that's second issue to deal with. So first issue is about the sub-region and the instability there, and the way coups have become sort of the fashionable thing. Then the last one, maybe that's too much of a stretch, but similar to the nurses leaving. In watching the games, I saw lots of Africans running for other countries, right? So many of them. I can give you a few. There's a guy called Amudazi. Is it Amoganza or Amudazi? Amudazi. This guy. The guy started running 100 meters age 26. He's 31 years old. He was in one of the semi-finals. He ran below 10 seconds. He just didn't qualify for the final. So, I mean, if Amudazi there is a Ghanaian. The Sky News spoke to some lady called Anita Asante.
Yeah, she played for England.
Charlie,
I love Claire.
Prime News, they were talking about how she was
Played for Arsenal.
She was comforting
England.
the English people that they shouldn't worry, that even though they lost the World Cup, the team has come a long way. So she's like some football legend.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Then I was watching Chelsea and
Coaching
West Ham.
Charlton Athletic now.
I can say there were about 3 or 4 guys. There was some Madueke guy. There was some Ukechuku guy. There was some
Chukwuemeka.
Uduzi something. Like, plenty. Even in athletics, some lady called Hassan. She doesn't look like she's from Morocco, from a friend saying
Netherlands.
she's running for Netherlands. So many people with Ghanaian, Nigerian sounding names running for people in the like the whole thing is like when you say Mother Ghana or Mother Africa, it doesn't mean anything again. Do you live? Yes, I was like why can't you serve Mother Ghana?
Which one? Which
Like you know, so like that, like now Mother Ghana or Mother Africa.
Let me ask
like
you.
is it like so if you're a talented athlete, between the glory of running on the world stage for Italy, you see somebody who looks like me running for Italy, versus staying to run for Ghana or Nigeria or whatever. It's you know what I'm saying? It's like where is the pride? You know, maybe that's a fair point, but you know, it's nurses are going, athletes are also going.
No, it's not like athletes are going. Some of the athletes were born there.
So I shouldn't worry too much about that.
They were born there.
So it's not as if they left and went to naturalize.
No, a lot of them were born there.
But I couldn't help but see the way like
The Hassan lady, for example, and, you know,
Sifan Hassan.
She has been in Netherlands since 14, 15.
How old is she now?
Well, Sifan Hassan she should be hitting 30s.
You get it.
So the people of so where is she originally from?
Somalia.
So like Mo Farah.
Like Mo Farah.
Charlie, but you know that's the point. You see,
No, Ethiopia actually.
It's okay.
yeah, but like if the people,
She's 30 years.
if the people, I mean, Amodazi.
Bernard.
So why didn't he come around for
Why
Ghana?
didn't he?
That's your question.
That's your
It's
question.
it's like it's paining me.
Why is he paying you? He was born there.
Yeah, but still, he has to like. I mean, how can Amodazi run for UK?
Why can't an Amudazi run
Why
for
he
UK?
can't-
Sky. If you were in school and you saw Amodazi in your class list, wouldn't you go and talk to him after the lecture?
yeah.
Say, Amodazi, also, Nagana of Infa, if you come and say, oh, Charlie, is you, then we talk. So I'm British, I don't know anything about Ghana.
But
I met a number of them.
It's paining me.
It can pay you, but that is what it is.
See, the question is, can't we do something for Mother Ghana?
But what about? I think if you put it that way, you're not
Some
being
in
fair.
cancer also runs for Belgium.
Hold on, I
cancer.
think you are not being fair then to those who are here doing what they can. Then
Maybe I'm reframing it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. Number one, West Africa be some way. Okay.
yeah, what's up, guys? Messed up right now.
Then 10,000 nurses they run.
Yeah,
Small TV we are watching to also have small.
they will have
farm too.
children who in 10 years will be representing the countries that they are running away to.
That's my point. So okay, you've left Ghana to UK to be a nurse.
Yes,
Fine.
you will have an Amudazi child,
So run for Ghana.
but the child was born there.
But so that's the thing. So like Ghana has lost 10,000 nurses today.
Yes.
UK didn't pay us any money. Maybe they pay something small. You are helping the UK health system. But if you have children, let them run for Ghana so that at least you can say that. So like see the Ghanaian people going to UK, no, they benefited from the UK system to train themselves and to get their good food and things. Then they run for Ghana. Then we say that we have benefited double. So you send money every week to build a house.
You want
then our children in 10 years time, your children are running for Ghana. Then Ghana too can get into. So like if you look at Chelsea now, like plenty of the players have Nigerian names. If like they are from Nigeria and they go back to Nigeria, if it's getting £30,000 a week, then it will go to the Nigerian economy.
The only way that
then we are getting repaid. It's like because we lost money. It's
hold on.
we lost a nurse. Like we've trained an oncologist and he's now working in UK at Sheffield. For some people he doesn't know. Okay, so the nurses at 37 will be struggling with 2 oncologists for like 10 years or whatever. Now, if this person goes to have a child in the UK, let the person play for us now so that we can say Amodazi from Ghana. Then when you pay them £50,000 a week, he will come and pay tithe in Ghana. He will come and give to some. Like then we are benefiting, but now we are losing the people's work. We are not also getting the money from their children. They are running for UK. Then we've lost twice. It's not good. So even if the government cannot tell the nurses not to go, they can tell the people that when you go, when you have children, let them play for Ghana.
Okay.
But
Do you understand?
what Ghana would then need to do is one, be in those systems and spot these kids early, and then provide an avenue where Ghana is responsible for their athletic upbringing, because these kids would be in a system where maybe from the ages of 10 or something, they are in a certain system to see how they develop. Britain or the US or Canada is paying for that. They run camps with other kids from that country they grew up with. So there's a feeling of brotherliness or sisterliness.
There's a
or
connection.
There's a connection. So by that time that child is 18 or 19, running 9.80 seconds, and Ghana sees that child would have built a certain affinity to Britain, Canada, US, Holland for 9 years. Ghana has not invested anything.
No, but Ghana invested in their parents' education. So you see,
By the way those kids think is different.
The parents should do the work for Ghana.
They should recruit for us.
When I say Ghana,
let me ask you this
I'm not saying Ghana as in the government too. So like the child. So like this in cancer running for Belgium. I'm sure the parents were in Ghana before they went to Belgium, right? So my point is that they should be our ambassador and say, Chaleko, Ghana no free. But men, don't lie to yourself. You are from Ghana, so please go and run for Ghana.
Well, I sympathize with that position strongly, and the patriotic instincts in me would canvass that position. Let us also be realistic enough to ask the question: if it was that easy, why didn't he stay to make Ghana work? The parents left the country and then decided to make it elsewhere.
Yes.
Do you think that parent, having seen everything that compelled him to leave Ghana, now in, say, UK, Canada, US, Australia, Germany, would say that, oh, my son, I know of everything that happened in Ghana that forced me to come here, but you go back to Ghana and play for Ghana.
No,
Do you think that would...
No, you see, I'm not saying they should come and live here.
No, I'm not saying live.
I'm saying that they should live there. But they should play for us.
Yeah, but I'm
or
saying,
run for us.
Yeah, I'm saying
run under our flag.
What I'm saying is that with everything that parent saw,
yes,
that compelled that parent to leave the shores of Ghana, possibly through the desert.
Yeah.
Went through Libya, all these troubles.
To create a better future for their children.
For himself.
They've created it now. So now they are in the future that they created. So that future must benefit us. I'm not saying they should. You get me? So it's like there must be two things. On the cultural side, maybe Ghana must put things in, like between age 0 and 30, when you decide to leave Ghana. We must be able to put some values in you that by the time you go to any country, there's a certain strong affinity to Ghana that every vacation, every Christmas, you will come to Ghana. That's number one.
Who's paying?
I'm building a point. So that there's a certain desire for the country, okay, that makes... Now, once the parents start coming, because I have friends in the UK and the US who almost every year come. So now their kids know they have cousins in Ghana and they look forward to coming. Once they start coming, the Ghana thing is done. You see, you are planting the Ghana idea in their head that even though you are running in Birmingham University, you are running sub 10, you are from Ghana. Don't forget you are from, like you see Joseph in the Bible, they said Moses' mother had Moses for a few years. He made sure Moses knew that he was a Jew even though he was in Egypt. So even though he was supposed to go and be Pharaoh in Egypt, he said, no. When Moses became of years, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. So we should be able to train our children that when they reach, because you are called Anita Asante, you are called Kobi Amugdazi,
you are called Gakpo.
Charlie Kodi Gakpo. Like why? Like, you know.
But I don't.
So like
Antoine Semenyo.
Maybe
For the Black Stars.
you know, like the names are like we should be able to put something that people so that they will still see, we like to use their their resources. That one they will like their food is good, their tracks are great, but in payback time, because when you watch the thing you can get demoralized because you are watching the thing.
You don't know who to support.
Charlie, Ghana, no, the show.
Ghana is there.
Apparently, from the guy, he said Ghana has 2 people, 200. They are running today. Joe Paul and some Dazi guy. Charlie Sky.
And then the Brakwa also did the long jump.
So, listeners, what I'm saying is that let's come up with an initiative so that we can pump something into the people, so that when they leave, you see, a lot of them send money. Don't they send money?
Yes, of course.
Yes, they send money. It means that the people so their children can play for us. Like in Ketia Arsenal, score some goals. Imagine Ketia was in the Black Stars. You know, I know you can say Black Stars, whatever, but Charlie, and when you even see his head, even if you don't know it's in Ketia, when you see his head, no, sir, this guy's a cool person. When you see his head, no, you know. You don't even need to. He doesn't even need to mention his name. When you see in Ketia, it's like Numapa.
I know his cousin.
Charlie,
I know it.
There's a guy called Numapa, Sky's friend. The first day I saw him in Warwick University, I said, "Hey, Ufigana, who teased his hair away, the back of his head." When you say, who's a Ghanaian? He said, "I'm 90. How you Ghanaian?" You know, he can be speaking slang, but Numapa is a Ghanaian. So if Numapa has kids in the UK, they should play for Ghana. You know, the thing has paid me a lot.
On the other side, so you get there to see it for yourself. It's a contrast of positions. So the man in Africa is dreaming to go to the other world because he feels that that is where his spirit is, where he has to go and make
Opportunity.
it. Yes. But the man outside
He also wants to come back.
actually wants to come back home. So a land he's never been through all his life, yet he feels that this is his home. See the contrast?
But the guy there, he's referring to Jackson was sent. Maybe Jackson's father was sent there.
Yeah, that's right.
But what about the guy who left here on his own and is there? So the Jackson guy, Jackson, he not stay here before.
With Jackson.
The song Lucky to Be Sound. So Jackson is in Jamaica.
Yeah.
He dreams of coming to Ghana because he knows his spirit is here.
Yeah.
And then Kokumi to Charlie. He go Canadian embassy. They look for visa because Ghana had too much. You see, so Kokumi wants to leave. Jackson wants to come back. But there's also Amu. Amu who's left. And you know, a lot of the guys who go, you know, when people say Ghanaians are lazy, I don't believe it. Because the way they work, like when you see a Ghanaian in Europe, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, on time, diligent, organized, excellent, train their kids very well. Kids do well in school. So a lot of these athletes you're seeing, their parents, some of them are even products of single parents. And the people do so well, get to the highest level because the land gives them opportunity. All right. Are you sure that person is dreaming of coming back?
Let me read this message. You will respond in part to what you are asking. So he says, your statement is true. I'm one of your mates who left in 2004.
Oh, he's my
A few
mate?
of us, yes.
Okay.
Came back to help. I
Okay.
can confirm to you that there are a few who have closed shops and returned, to
Ghana?
to the UK in
Oh.
the last 5 years.
They've gone back.
Yes, I mean, so they came back, and then they decided, one year though. I know a lot of our mates out there too who want to come and invest, but are reluctant because of the situation pertaining at home. The environment is stale, and people are just playing the wait and see game. Ghana has the resources, and I can bet you on all fronts. The problem we have is the resource harnessing to better the lives of our people. And the leadership is in a terrible state. And here's another one, which is coming in from a doctor friend of mine. He's an elderly person. He says, when your country has been reduced from near middle income to a failed state in a short span of 7 years, and your purchasing power has plummeted on the backdrop of cramming income, why shouldn't we leave for better opportunities for our children and for ourselves? I am only here because I'm now too old to leave again. Even then, if a recruiting firm comes for me, I'll be gone in a blink. Just yesterday, a friend of mine, a lecturer at one of our universities, informed me that she was leaving or relocating to Kigali. That's what the true situation is telling all of us.
So 2 contrasting views, right? One person who's gone and wants to come back. And of course, he feels like people want to go back. And then this guy who's like, Charlie Minyaka Kamekobio. So the experiences are different. But the general observation is that the younger people want to leave because they don't seem to, things know they be.
Yeah.
But those who have done well there, who believe they know how the system works, and they still have some affinity to Ghana, feel like if they come back, they can offer more. I have friends who, for example, have been in the medical field, right? So he's gone in, did his medical thing in the UK, got a job in the hospitals, doing very, very well. But then he realizes that in some hospitals in the UK, certain roles are political.
You can only write so much.
And if you are black from Africa, you are a very good doctor, but there's some levels of position you cannot occupy. Then he also sees a huge gap in Ghana. So he gets medical equipment, gets friends, and comes to Ghana, enters the Kolebu system or sets up his own company. And he's very fulfilled. He's making money, but he also believes that he's giving back. Maybe he enters medical school to teach. So my point is, number one, with a system in Ghana should create a platform to bring those people back. So you may not be able to stop those who want to go from going because you can see it as part of their training. So if 10,000 go in 1 year, maybe 500 will come back in 10 years. And those 500 will be very value adding. But we must have a system of tracking that. That's number one. That's number one. Number 2, the people who leave are of a higher skill than those who replace them with locally. Because when people get specialized skills, the Western world wants them more. So we should increase the rate of training specialists So it's not all the time we are trying to catch up. Okay, then number 3, let's inculcate certain values in our people whilst they are here. So even though things not to be economically, you get me? Because your relationship with your country is not just based on the economics. Do you follow me? So like, there should be something we should be doing collectively to make people have a certain affinity to the country, that even though economically they may have to leave to get better, there's a certain longing they have and a certain love they have for Mother Ghana that will make them tell their kids to run for us.
I think that is there. I think the last one is almost the last thing to go away when it comes to Ghanaians and their kids. So, because so you realize that most of these kids would have, at one point or the other in their lives, been brought here. They would have had holidays, at least once or twice. But the larger part of their cultural and social identity is either British or Canadian or American or Dutch or German, whichever one they find themselves in. But their parents most often than not bring them here. So, because a lot of the time the Ghanaians will tell you that longing that you're talking about, there's a craving to come back. And but
you mean come back and visit?
Visit, yes.
No, but that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, hold on, I'll get to it. No, I'm just saying, but at least there is a willingness to let them come back and have a feel to see how they like it. It's much better than not coming at all.
Yeah.
Because there are those who even cut off.
And
they don't come at all.
So like when they come back to have a feel, the kind of experience they get. So like look at,
it's what determines.
Okay, look at Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah.
Tariq was born in the UK. His father is from here. Right? So his father obviously...
Both parents are from here.
Yeah, they have a certain affinity for Ghana. The guy hasn't been to Ghana properly, but he's come now. Of course, he came after his prominence in the UK. And you can see that he's feeling the Ghana. So he went to do the project in the Eastern region. He came for an interview. He's getting comfortable. If we are able to create the right platform for Tariq, he may come to set up a soccer academy one day.
Yes.
So in that sense, his father went to look for greener pastures, raised as a boy to become one of the best footballers in his community. He's playing for Brighton. If Tariq makes it as a footballer for whatever number of years and decides to come and set up an academy like a Dreams in Ghana, then Ghana's... So my point is that Tariq's father and mother are our ambassadors to him. That never forget that you are from Ghana. Your name Tariq Lamptey means you are from Accra. Do you understand? That kind of thing should be in their head. And that's when it's we who put it in the man before he leaves.
Yes, but the battle we are having now is a battle of, which is something that you've mentioned. It's a battle of longing and togetherness over economics, whether you like it or not. Okay. And even in my situation, I blame you. You've brought me back to this country twice.
Oh.
You.
Wait. You know, at this point, let me pay some bills.
You pay any bills.
The discussion,
let me finish.
No, the discussion has moved.
It hasn't moved.
Wait, you know, I'm coming. Wait.
It hasn't moved.
No, let's regroup. Let's
you have brought me back to this country twice.
Let's reorganize.
Even with this guy sitting here, we'll make an allegation against you.
I think that you may not be able to stop the exodus, but you can come up with strategies to harvest the benefit. I know some countries like Chinese. A lot of us when we study in the US or UK, Chinese come and study.
And they go back.
3, 4, 5 years later, they go back. Of course, the Chinese system has space for them, right? And which is something we should also work on doing. That if somebody goes to live in the US or UK for an X number of years and they've done all kinds of things, there should be a way you can harvest their expertise, like the Tariq Lamptey example. Not just philanthropy, because one of the things we lack in sports is sports development at the early stage. So if you have sports guys who have become excellent at a young age, I'm sure you're probably going to study sports science or something. Charlie, we should be able to get those guys back to train our young people. Do you get it? But it's almost like we've created an environment where people who've succeeded outside, we don't need them.
No, but I disagree about not needing them. I think most of them are willing. I'll give you a typical example. When Asafa Powell was in Ghana, what did he say?
He said he's shocked. He said Ghana shock him.
He said he has no place to train.
Charlie.
So he's here. He was on holiday. Perhaps if he had found a proper tartan track within where he was staying,
he probably have had a longer stay.
A longer stay, might be willing to come back with trainers and say, look, maybe twice a year or 3 times a year, because he has a Ghanaian wife. And that is why he came.
His wife is Ghanaian.
Yes! He has a Ghanaian wife.
That's even
which is why he came.
That should be another strategy.
It is his wife who dragged him here.
We should be marrying and bringing them here.
Fine.
All these that possible?
Bernard, calm down. I want to make a couple of
So
points. if
the
you allow me.
Wells, I'm coming. Let me that. Asabapao is the one who has run the most sub 10 seconds.
Yes.
In history.
In history.
His wife is from Ghana. I didn't even know.
Yes. So she brings him here.
So we should respond to the women.
No, I'm just saying.
Not just
but-
women. We
but
can
the
also
point
marry
is,
the women.
Bernard, he's here to help.
Yeah.
The only way he can help you is through what? World-class athletic training. But the infrastructure to carry that through.
Doesn't Legon have Tantan?
No, he went to AWAC. There was nothing. The gone one, they are now working on
They're
it.
now working on it.
Because of the All Africa Games.
I need his
The
wife.
Accra Sports Stadium one.
Across the
Accra Sports
stadium
Stadium,
doesn't
they
have.
took out
they
the
took out
tartan
the
tracks for the redevelopment. So it doesn't have tartan tracks. Which was a very silly
So
decision.
they just do
I must say.
football?
Yes. You see?
So the stadium doesn't have tracks.
The
Yes,
whole
that's-
of Accra.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
The Accra Sports Stadium doesn't have.
It doesn't
running
have
track.
tracks.
who do that?
Escape Coast that has tracks and Baba
Massive.
Yara that has tracks.
Oh.
You say, oh,
Read some comments for me on the proposal to harvest or reap where we have not sown. Whichever.
Let me take you to this one that says, hello, Alowski. How many Ghanaians are you talking about? Okay, let me go to this one. Let me move on to this one. This one says, Bernard, I am a Ghanaian tennis player and I understand what you were saying, but what I have experienced as a player, playing for Ghana, and what I've been through, the experiences, I'm telling you, they give me a totally different mindset. I'm raising my kids in Ghana, but they will not play, swim, or run for Ghana if they take any of the sports on as a career. Bernard, that's a serious one. Somebody
This is
saying
what?
that the experiences that is that. This one from Kwame says, Bernard, I am a civil servant in one of the state institutions. I hold a master's degree and my monthly salary is just around 2,300 Ghana cedis. Wow. I'm turning 30 soon, and after working all these years, I have nothing to show for it. Bernard, I can't think of marrying or even having a child with my 2,000 Ghana cedi salary. When I get the opportunity, trust me, I will leave. This one from Paul Efai in Iceland says that, Bernard, there is this Taddy guy here with me in Iceland who returns home every December for fancy dress party with his kids. He works here though.
so he comes for the
For the time.
the masquerade
Yeah.
in Takra, then he goes back. That's his only connection. I don't know.
He's coming for tourism.
Yes,
This one says, good morning, Bernard and team. See, young people have seen what their parents went through or going through, and they don't want that for themselves, knowing there are better opportunities out there in the world. See, look at how they treat young people in institutions here in Ghana. It's almost as if you are paid for hands-to-mouth purposes. You don't even get the common average life with your salary. What does that even mean? So why would we stay in this country when others are doing the same jobs elsewhere and they are getting...
So the question for
pay?
those living is, do you have a return plan? Or are you just leaving?
we are leaving.
Oh, but Ali, if you leave, find a way of coming
This
back.
one says,
But
good
let me
morning,
ask you a
team.
question.
Now, the days of Mother Africa and Mother Ghana, we are gradually losing all of
Oh,
those
how?
things. So, because the mother we are talking about doesn't care about us, the children. We feel like aliens in our own homes. Why won't we leave our homes? By 2024, dear, Ghana will most likely be empty.
Oh, how?
That's what Frank Wood is projecting.
Frank Wood, do you know how many people live in Ghana?
30 million.
We can never leave the
Finish.
country. Even war-torn countries have people living there.
It's
There are some
true.
people who have nowhere to go.
This one says, Bernard, countries like Morocco have put in place serious systems and infrastructure and are tapping these, the quality or the potentials of these sportsmen born abroad. What's the situation with us? Godfrey was just telling us that we don't even have Titan tracks at the Accra Sports Stadium. This one says, good morning, Team CBS. Bernard, there's something you don't understand. You have to experience it before you get it. I was an all-round athlete in JHS. I played volleyball, basketball, a little bit of baseball, a 200-meter runner, and part of the 4x100 team. All this dream was lost when I attended a private senior high school in 2000 because my dad couldn't afford transportation to a school outside Dansoman State Flat. Our sports system doesn't support poor students who are very good in sports. Everywhere you go, you have to pay. I have a friend who is still very good in football, but because of money, he can't go very far. I can go on and on. I am
6'6".
Yeah, 6'6", tall, And when people see me, they say I should be in America playing basketball. So do you think when I get the chance to travel outside and have kids there, I'll let my children do anything for Ghana?
Yeah, but why are you using just one experience to damn the whole country?
But that's his experience.
That is his experience. So
That's
he's
his
using
experience.
that. So imagine
You cannot use anybody else's experience. You see,
But my point is that, like, for example, your experience was within a specific period of time. You were poor. There was no opportunity. But now people are doing swimming. There's things being developed. Your child may not necessarily be doing football.
but
or
he can't afford it.
No, but he will make money when he goes to America.
So he's not in America yet. He's here suffering.
So he won't come back.
Yeah,
He's here. He's telling you about his situation.
But how does he know that when he goes there, that place will be better?
most likely it's a dream. It's a land of dreams, they say, right?
But your song just said that those who are there to want to come.
That's true. That's true.
But let me tell you something. Let me be a bit
People,
mean.
people,
Hold on.
people should.
You see,
Man,
let me
you
be
have only
mean a
one
bit.
country.
But let me tell you something. Look, when a lot of the people who want to come back, okay, they've reached aspirational points.
Yeah, we've seen it all.
They've seen it all. They have savings they can rely on. Okay, they have homes.
They don't owe.
Their mortgages are paid, or if not paid, they're on their way to
On
being
being
paid.
paid.
Their kids are in good colleges, so their
don't
kids
have
are also
headaches.
on the path to at least self-actualize to a point. So when they reach that point, they can tell you that they want to come and sit at Kolebu, and
Beyond that,
and occupy a chair of emergency medicine or come and teach something for what they pay there, and still rely on the savings they have made from their 25 years of working at Cedar Sinai or Johns Hopkins or wherever it is that the top hospitals that the Ghanaian doctors work in. You see, so it's a bit easy for them because you will not feel the pinch a lot. But even gets to the point, even they get frustrated by the system because he's used to entering an operating room and everything is there. Here he goes there and he might have to improvise sometimes with his superior skill set. Okay, so even with that longing, it's based on the fact that they've reached
let me ask another
economic.
let me answer that question.
Hold on for me, please. I'll let you ask me a question. They've reached the point of economic, content to a certain point. That is where you can come back. I said you've brought me back to this country twice. Hold on. I just want to address something. The pitch that you made then were different on both occasions. I don't think you can make that pitch to me a third time. It won't work.
Charlie,
I'm telling you.
Why did they let him pass?
No, I'm just saying. You see, the first time it was a pitch based on come back and help and let's build.
Okay.
Ghana is thriving.
Yeah.
It's going.
Yeah.
I bought into it. Meaning, the second time was me looking at something
Yeah.
and you providing an outlet.
Yes.
But still making a pitch and saying, look,
Yeah.
you could do this and do this, but I think this makes sense for you right now. Be my big brother. I listen.
But
As always.
the Ghana project is still on.
The Ghana project has been failing for a very long time. Let me finish.
He's accusing me.
I'm not accusing you. I'm simply saying that if you were to make that pitch to me a third time,
It's a different pitch.
you make a different pitch. It's a different pitch. You see, because
Every time in the pitch, because you see, the situation is the same. Because the first pitch was like 26 years old. Now you are not a small boy.
Yeah.
So the pitch has to be different.
yeah, but I'm coming.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is
Yeah.
the things that I both pitches now will not work with me, and
That's why I'll give you a third one.
yes, but for you, the center of your pitch has always been service to Ghana.
Yeah.
And building the country. And I'm saying that pitch won't work now.
No, it has to work.
It won't
You
work.
know why it will work?
It won't work.
Because the country you are going to, you see, this is the question I have for people that are not answering. The country that you are talking about, somebody built it.
Yes.
And it was not built best by the president.
No.
There were individuals who worked together to build a country.
Yes. I'm come to show you something.
And now I am saying that nobody will build this country for you.
But this country does not want to be built.
Oh, no, it's not true.
I'm coming.
What is it? Godfrey,
Let's hear that.
see, a country does not fail or succeed on the back of only one or two people. It is a collective responsibility.
But I hold this.
I'm coming. It's a collective responsibility. And I'm saying that a system only fails when a lot of people derelict duty at various levels. So what I am doing is part of building a country.
Yes.
All right. So you are trying to shape the way people think. You are trying to have a more nuanced way to do journalism, more data, information-based questioning and all those things, which is part of democracy.
Yes.
Right. And I'm saying that it's all of us can get a job somewhere and go. And I'm not saying don't go, as in just don't go. But think about how you've been blessed and your role in the time that we are in, and decide that, you see, if you've given your best and your best is like not working and you are really is endangering your life, or you are desperate because you are stuck between survival and whatever, that's different. But you are doing well, you are making impact, you are getting a reasonably good pay. Do you understand? You have networks and things. Then it's not the same. So if like a 24-year-old guy says, look, I just finished a certain program, I'm teaching, I'm getting for 500 cedis a month, it's not working, somebody wants me to come to Turkey to teach, you're going to pay me 4 times the amount, I can help to get married. He's in a different position.
Yes.
You and I are now in our late 30s, early 40s. So we are now the future that the future we are looking for, we are in it.
Is it that bright?
No, you see, my point is that we are the ones responsible to build the thing. It's not anybody's job.
Yeah, but Bernard, you see,
I'm coming. So
hold on. Let me push back.
Wait. You are not seeing that when you say the pitch will not work. It will not work because now you are the one to be making the pitch to other people.
No, but
because now you've reached. When I was in Legon Hall, the motto was "Qui mutum datum," to whom much is given. I'm saying that now you are the one who make a 24-year-old guy and explain to him why he has to be part of the project to also.
But the 24-year-old has to look at him.
Yeah, but he's doing well.
Wait.
No, hold on. No.
By what standard?
By what standard?
Oh, come on. You are. Oh, come on.
No,
Oh, come on.
see,
What standard?
hold on.
Go for it. Go for it.
I want to engage you.
Yogi Bear says, I'm smarter than the average bear.
Gakari.
Go for it. You are better than the average.
Hold on.
Bro. You are better than the average, whatever age you are person.
Hold on. I want to engage Bernard a bit. You see, I'm going to read you a message.
You are doing about 3 jobs.
Hold on.
You have a good family.
Hold on.
You are respected in the country. You are not poor.
Respect where we go chop.
You are so.
I'm going to
go for it.
But listen to me.
You are better to do than most people of your age.
Yes.
Most of your mates from Pembe College look up to you because Akoto.
He's on radio.
Not just on radio. You have links. When I
have contacts.
God, when I need like a solid person to talk to globally on any subject, he can find it for me. He's respected in those circles. He's not borrowed money.
Calm down.
He lives in his own house. He has a number of cars. He has a beautiful wife. He has a daughter.
Is that all?
Bernard, calm down. Let me.
Okay.
No, let me tell you something. You see, I'm reading your message. You don't want to listen to me.
No, I'm listening.
Yes. He says, I like your submissions this morning. And please tell Bernard that even the rich returnees are tired of the system and are now going back.
Yeah.
I came back to start a 20-acre poultry and pineapple farm.
Yeah.
I'm looking to sell everything and go back.
Why?
I was actually the best district poultry farmer in 2020 in Ekwapim South, but I regret making these decisions now.
Why?
You see, Bernard,
He should give me more filler.
no, but he's told you things are not working for him. You see, Bernard, listen.
We can call him up.
You see, you are used to a certain kind of quality for everything you do.
What is that?
You understand?
Best farmer 2020. Go on.
And certain things set you up. Okay, certain things move you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you something. This conversation we're having. This is the Ministry of. Everybody should go to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Mm-hmm. Their Twitter handle. Mm-hmm. The official mascot for the ministry for the first African Para Games. Yes. It has been unveiled. But if you're an athlete for Ghana, you don't even run. Look at the mascot. You look. Is it Cocoa Beans or Nkatia Boga? Which one is it? Wearing dross.
Yeah, but wait. But
tell me what it is.
But how is that? What are they going to do with that?
This is because this is reflective of the lack of institutional quality I am talking about. No, hold on. So if me, I am a world-class para athlete, sitting born of Ghanaian parentage, sitting in Canada, and you are making a pitch to me that Godfred, you are the world record holder for this. I need you to come back and represent Ghana at the first Africa Para Olympic Games or something. Yes. And then you on the thing you show me this mascot.
This is not fair. You see, what he's doing is when you are doing debates, you bring in. He's brought in.
Will you run for Ghana?
Extraneous material.
No, I'm not.
This is my fundamental.
Hold on. My fundamental.
Yeah, I'll run for Ghana because when I win a gold medal, I can tell the minister that, by the way, your logo is crap.
No,
so change it.
No, because what this tells me, based on what I would have been used to, based on living and training in the UK, US, Canada, is that there is lack of institutional quality. This institution will worry me, and this institution, by virtue of the fact that it cannot even put up a proper mascot, How can he take care of me and my needs as an athlete?
That is a good. That's a question. But you see, I feel
it is not.
You are
That is what we are
overstretching.
talking
You are
about.
overstretching the mascot into other areas. That is it because
Have you seen the mascot? Have you seen the mascot?
Hold on.
The one leg they play.
Have you seen the games?
No, guys. You see, beauty.
Which part?
No, go for it.
Wait, let's discuss.
You are not being fair.
What is it? We're going to do or something.
No, Sky. You see, this is a very. I understand what he's trying to do,
Look at
but
it.
it's not a fair example to you.
It is a very fair example.
Describe. Better, you are good with words. Describe what you.
I know.
What is it?
No, you see, it's not.
Is it a nutmeg?
This is in the context of the.
Is it cocoa beans?
In the context of the this is orbiter.
It is not.
See, the ratio of government,
It is not.
the ratio of Godfrey's argument, the ratio of Godfrey's argument.
Give me
is
my
that
mascot.
The system is not good enough to harness a person's talent, and therefore, sometimes a decision to stay is going to rather destroy or limit your success. All right. Now that is true in some areas. That is true in some areas because
You look like.
you see the reason why you see what you have done. The reason why guys, you see the mascot is not what is being described.
No, but when you see, no, it's the basis of everything. You see,
No, it's not.
no. You know where you started this argument from? You started this argument from the fact that why are we unable to attract an Akins, Amo?
Yeah.
Why are we
Akins,
unable to
or
attract an Anita Asante? And I'm saying that when people go through that system and are used to certain things, you cannot go to Anita Asante and say, Anita Asante, I want you to come and play football for Ghana at the next Para Games. Because you have to make a pitch to Anita Asante. What are you pitching?
Yeah.
You are pitching institutional quality.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm not just pitching. I'm also making an emotional argument.
That they say it's killer bean.
I'm making an emotional argument because I'm saying that this person not playing for Ghana is not just a result of institutional failure. It's also the result of lack of enough ingraining of certain values and patriotism in the citizen. Right? A certain lack of cultural context, the fact that the person has no connection to the country. So a decision to play for a country is not just a logical decision. All right? And emotion is a legitimate tool to use. Right? You can make an emotional argument to a person and say, in UK, you'll just be one of the people, but in Ghana, you'll be the best. So one of the things you tell people to work for a brand which is not the best, you say, look, you can be, like that's what small clubs use to attract people to play for them. All right? That, look, if you come and join us, I'll build the team around you so you will excel and then you can pull other people along. That works for some people. Now, I am saying that where we are in Ghana today, you see, let's not take it as if, as for us, our responsibility is only to make a decision about where to play or where not to play. Do you guys do it? Yeah. Our decision is also what should we be remembered for as our role. And I'm saying that for a country to succeed, you and I are privileged. So that's what I'm saying. If a 24-year-old guy comes and says he wants to leave because he's desperate, I may not be able to ask him to stop. But I will make sure that the experience he has prior to leaving, he has certain grounding in who he is as a citizen.
Yes, but Bernard,
I'm coming.
No. I'm just saying, hold on. No, I'll not let you land. Because you
Allow
see,
him to.
no, I will not. You see, because Bernard is talking about emotion. Pride is a significant emotion for an athlete.
Yes.
Or for any other person.
Yes.
So you must have a sense of pride in what you are representing. You understand? So if you come and pitch pride to me, where is the pride in this?
No,
you tell me.
I am saying that this is.
You see, let us
you
not.
are not being fair to me because
No,
you are
it's
using.
not you.
are
It's
using.
not you.
No, you are
It's
using.
not
I
you.
get you. You are
Because
using.
because it's a very good example.
No, but that's just one, and you are not listening to me. I'm saying
could
that,
give you 1,000.
I am saying that the situation.
The guy is very good.
There is no effort.
No.
Why?
They didn't even try.
No, is it overall or pull over?
Guys,
Look at this mascot. Look, I'm saying everybody should
You are
go to
not
the
even-
Ministry of
you are not even
Sports,
being fair.
their Twitter handle. Go and look at it.
You see,
Go and look at
you are not being fair. You are not being fair.
I'm saying you. Is it nutmeg? Is it beans? And will this elicit
Maybe like
pride in you? Will this elicit pride in you?
You are not listening
As
to
a
me.
Canada-born athlete to come
saying-
and represent Ghana.
I am saying that two
Wicked
things.
Ghana.
The decision to play for a country or to represent a country is not just logical; it's also emotional.
Yeah, that's
you have made the point that pride is also an emotion. I take that, but that does not totally vitiate the point that emotion appeal to people's sense of excellence and telling them that you can come and help is part of, I mean, I've spoken to politicians who say to me that I was doing well somewhere. A political leader came to the US and saw me and said, we are doing enough here. Come and help us to do something.
Yes.
Some people become president of a country. Sometimes they travel around the world and say, Charlie, come and help us to do what we want to do. It's legitimate. You can say, well, I'm being paid a six-figure salary working for Enron or whatever company. Right? But I think that because of the pitch you've made, I'll come. So that's one. Number two, the way I have been trained, and you have been trained that way too, we are part of both the solution and the problem. So because we are privileged people, not how many people at my age got the chance to host the morning show. Do you get me? So I have a certain responsibility to the country to also give back to it. Do you understand? And I'm saying that there are many people who are doing well. For example, even some of these nurses, fine, you can say they work hard and things, but Charlie Sky, the government subsidizes your education. So at some level, you get me? So I'm not saying that it's all the government, but you go to school. A lot of people get subsidized education because if you are not British and you go to a British educational system, you pay so much more to go to school. But Ghana gives you a fairly decent education. For example, this weekend, UG hosts congregation, 310 graduates, law, medical and biomedical and allied health. I can say that these people, the foundation they have in Ghana is very good. Do you get me? These 310 people, in 4 or 5 years, they can qualify to work anywhere because the Ghana foundation is strong. And that is something your country gave you. So if you look at it and say, well, the country is hard and everything, that's true. But the country created a nurse. And the country just benefited 1.5 years because the nurse needs to survive to help. No problem. But when the nurse goes and is doing well, the nurse must remember where they came from. That's number one. And also that her education was subsidized. And I'm saying also that when a system is not working, you have a role in it to solve it. You are not all the countries you are going to. It was citizens that agitated to build it.
Yes.
They didn't leave.
Yes.
Do you get me? Like the US and all those places, it didn't just get out. Like US, 200 years ago, what was US?
True.
Some people went there and they decided to work. And I'm saying that we were put here by God to build this place. So if you are going with the mindset that I'm going to get the best I can get to come and finish the assignment I was given.
Yes.
Do you get me? So you can go, but make sure to remember where you came. It's like when you are going to marry or you are going to say, remember where you are coming from.
Yes.
Or you are from Adafianu, you are going to Tech. Your mother will say, wherever you go, don't forget that you are from here. So come back. So I'm not saying that Adafianu doesn't have a university. So you can't say that because I love Adafianu, I'll stay in Adafianu and not go to university. You go to Tech. But your mother says, remember, so build a house in your hometown. So I am saying that the mindset that I'm going is okay. Things are bad, it's fine. But you are supposed to acquire all the things you acquire to come and solve it. Your life is not just about making your life better for yourself. That's not why you are here. Do you get it? It's also to create a country that one day your children can also come and say, Charlie, Ghana was somewhere, but my father, one of the people did da, and one day Ghana is also this. Now, if you say that Ghana has gotten to the point where it cannot be redeemed, you are indicting yourself. It means you are saying that you don't have what it takes to help to bring any change. That's what you are doing.
Yeah,
because the country is not just a geographical map with a president. A country is citizens working together to create values, cultures, norms, and things.
Yes, but Bernard,
so let's not make it seem as if once officialdom is failing, it means we have no role in correcting that.
No, but Bernard,
that's what I reject.
I absolutely agree with you in that point, that we must reject that. But you see, you must also understand the point where citizens are at here. And this is where officialdom and leadership needs to be careful, because that brings us to the conversations. Because what we have is a very young population who are frustrated, one, and who are desperate, two. You see, the element, Ghana has always had hopeful citizens. If there's one thing that you can say about a Ghanaian, they say a Ghanaian is a perpetual optimist. But we've reached that point where for the very large youthful population that we have, most of them are not believers in Ebeye.
Do you know why?
I'm coming.
Do you know why?
What?
Let me use what you did. It's because we have not let them have a better sense of history. Yes. Because Sky, when I talk about
what else can you do?
Wait, you tell me about the things we've seen in Ghana in the past 50 years. That makes you realize that even though things may be bad, it doesn't merit certain things. And I'm saying that. Do you know how Ghana? Do you know the economy? Have you queued for Kinke before?
Me? No. I've never queued for Kinke before.
My point is that I'm happy you say the youth. We are not romanticizing suffering, but we are saying that some of those people, if they saw what Ghana was in the 70s and the 80s, the drought, queuing to get kinke, half-baked kinke to cook and eat, out of all of which we survived. If you have that sense of history, you know that things are desperate, but things can get better. So sometimes knowing the difficulty you've come through and also the horrendous nature of military interventions gives you a proper sense of perspective. So the youth are frustrated not because only things are bad, but because they don't have that sense of perspective. They don't know. 70s and 80s were very tough.
Yes.
People were eating cheese, they were eating yellow corn from US, all kinds of things. I remember my mom would say to me that there's a certain family we always love because they used to have, the woman was a kinky woman. And they would send this, my mother would send this half paint bucket to go and get a kinky uncooked that they will cook for us to eat as children. All right? Are you telling me that Ghana today is worse than that? There's opportunity that you are not getting, but we've been through times where even basic essentials are not there. Military guys have come to people have disappeared and things. And I'm saying now, when people have that history, it tempers the disillusionment and the desperation because two things. The fact that you've been through it and survived it tells you that you can do it now. And also the adventurers who come and promise you gold with a barrel of a gun it's not true.
Yes.
So if young people are desperate to leave, it's not just because Ghana is in this West. In Ghana's history of 67 or 68 years, how old is Ghana self?
Yeah.
62.
This is certainly not the worst time in our history. You know this.
Yes.
And so one of the things we need to do is to let the youth know that, have a sense of perspective. That perspective means that, yes, if you want to go to UK, go. This thing is in cycles. People go in the 70s, people go in the 80s, people go in the 90s. In fact, a lot of the politicians today, a lot of them left Ghana in the 80s.
And came back to Russia.
Yes, and so there's no problem in their going. But if you make it seem as if, Charlie, Ghana, I say, Ghana is a failed state. Do you know what a failed state is? Like you sit on air and you send me a WhatsApp to a radio station in the morning and say it's a failed state. That's even funny. Because there are failed states, you don't even have access to send anything to anywhere. Do you know what a failed state means? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we sit, and because of the comfort of a democracy, you can open your mouth and call a country where somebody can rant for 2 hours on air. But a failed state.
But Bernard, that also...
It's also a lack of perspective.
No, I agree with you to a certain
let's
extent.
Understand the context and look at the sub-region. Look at other parts of the continent.
But Bernard, you cannot...
Ghana is not a failed state.
No, but Bernard, you cannot also criticize people for having high expectations.
No, but if they have a wrong concept of the reality, you must put them in order.
No,
because
Bernard, a citizen of a country has every right to have the highest expectation of what he or she can achieve in that country, irrespective of
expectation and responsibility must go in equal measure. It's an equation. So if you have a high expectation of the country, you must have a high expectation of yourself. What is your output?
Yes.
That's number one. And that expectation must be tempered in reality.
Yes.
So I can have an expectation that I'll make $10 million. Mm-hmm. That's my right to make an expectation. But the average income in Ghana doesn't make that expectation realistic.
Why?
So having that expectation is just, and living my life based on a false expectation is just delusion.
Yes. But
so we cannot use somebody's expectation which is not grounded in reality as the basis of a logical discussion. I am saying that where we are in our country today, compared to all our history, anybody with a right sense of perspective knows that things are not good. But the journey we've been through tells me that we can overcome it.
No one.
And number two, and the system we have created with all its flaws allows for change in government through voting, which is why the opposition leader 3 days ago, front page of Daily Guide, was telling people that they shouldn't do coup d'etats and things. John Mahama is the NDC leader. What did he say? He wrote a message, Daily Guide of all papers, said, Mahama says no more coup. Why? Because they can sense that somebody wants to take advantage of the disillusionment to cause confusion. And I'm saying that we who sit here and have a sense of that history should let people, we are not downplaying people's suffering. We are not doing that. But every discussion must be grounded in the right context of history. And I'm saying that you, because of the history you know about the military, you never support coups because you know that there's always a narrative that is projected which makes things seem as if there's no cure. You have a country that in the past 30 years has run a constitution that has changed government every 8 years. Elections may be flawed, but we've done it. There's a relatively free media. Okay? Let's not allow the people who feel like they have nothing to lose to control the narrative, because the worst creation of a society is a citizen with nothing to lose. Now, a citizen with nothing to lose is a citizen who begins to think that there's nothing in this for me. Now, you can't have more stake in Canada than you have in Ghana if your name is Kofi Mensah. This is where you are from. And I'm saying that the reason why expectation must match responsibility is that all of us have two things. We expect our country to do well for us, but we also have something to give back to the country. That's why you are still here, despite many offers, because you realize that you still have unfinished business, because there's a part of you that has been given a talent to push back. That's why when you meet a young journalist and doesn't write well, you get angry and say, my brother, this is not how we did the work when we started doing the work. Why do you get angry? Because you realize that the way we suffered to do this thing, you come now, you're writing stories 2x4 and things, you feel a responsibility. Now, it will be funny of you to say, well, the society is not working, system is not working, so you are just leaving and think that you'll not be blamed for the state of media. Why is it that even when you were not here, when we write a story and it's not bad, they will call you and say, your people are reading a story? Because you have a stake in the thing. Do you get my point? So we cannot make it seem as if the system is wrong, that's all it is. Every system was created by people. For example, the UK system that supports, a friend of mine's son is in the UK, right? The person has special needs. They have so many things they are doing to allow the person to go to university in a comfortable way. That doesn't happen in Ghana. So his son will go to university in the UK. No problem. When you come to Ghana as a parent whose child has benefited from that special needs system, do you come to Ghana to denigrate the system or say, how can we also work to create such a system so that a Ghanaian child born in Kukrentumi who also has special needs will get the same education? That's your responsibility. It's not responsibility to say, let me carry all my family members from Kukrentumi to UK so I'll go and live there. That means you're a failed citizen. Do you understand? So when you get the chance to get a better system, that doesn't even come and denigrate your system. It places an onus on you. So if you are living there and you're not doing anything for your country, you are the failed citizen. Because all that Ghana and UK has given you and all the good experience you've learned, you are just keeping it for you and your family members. That's the real problem.
No.
That's the problem.
No, it is not. You see, the point that... Sky,
Yeah, go on,
okay. You see, I've listened to you and you've made some very good points on this matter. But again, what you refuse to acknowledge is, again, we have a very youthful population. Again, you talk about their lack of context. This is their reality. If you look at Ghana's population board, what is the dominant age at this moment?
Between 15 and 29.
Between 15 and 29.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
34.
So
like
their reality is steeped in the democracy from 1992.
Good.
Up to now. Mm-hmm. That is what they have. So you talk about their context. It's true, their context could be the 80s. Our educational system at the moment does not take into account those, because if you read the books, unless you are intent on being a very good student, coups and things don't even rarely show up. They are discussed on the surface, right? But truth be told, their everyday living is from 1992 to now.
Good.
So their disillusionment, their desperation, their frustration with the system is born out of what they have experienced personally, not what they have heard, not what they have read, which not the stories that they would have been told, but what they have lived and what they have seen their parents go through. What have they experienced? Yes, a certain growth in institutions. They've seen elections. But then their current education also gives them the room to understand that this is the kind of lifestyle that we are supposed to live. These are my expectations. These are my dreams. I should be able to aspire to those dreams whilst living in this system. So, what are the basics of those? I should have basic healthcare. Sanitation should be good. Transportation should be good. I should have access to clean water. I should have access to basic education at a certain level. Have access to certain basic books at the basic level. So if within 1992 to now, I sit within the system, I am waiting for these things to happen. As a good citizen, I pay my tax. My parents pay their taxes. I show up at a job, at a state institution. I'm told that I have to pay a bribe. Yeah. We saw that there are 5 billion. Some Ghanaians paid 5 billion. Whether be it they were extorted or they gave willingly, 5 billion Ghana cedis yearly. Put that, you can start to put that together for the past 15 years. That is the account of democracy for us.
Yes.
5 billion multiplied by 15.
Yes.
So if you come and tell me, who is trying my very best, I'm going through school, I'm doing all those things, I've met you halfway, I'm a good citizen, I don't get into trouble, I get good grades, I have my documents, I have my certificate, I'm looking for a job.
And I'm not getting, I'm
not getting it. I'm opening the newspapers and all I see is the political elite who have run this country from 1992 to now, buying new cars. People who were my classmates who have had no experience, work experience, suddenly own 3-4 houses. My next door neighbor who does nothing but text from the office of the president suddenly has 3 houses at East Legon. And yet me, I walk around every day. I struggle to feed my family. I struggle to look after my parents. I show up. And these things are not being met. Which kind of hope are you expecting me to have?
No problem.
Which hope?
Good. I'm saying that go. But you see, in going, you are solving part of the problem for yourself by getting a better education, a job. So me and you don't depart too much. Where we depart is that after you go, what next? Do you get me? So I'm not saying that people should stay here despite all their troubles and just die. Do you get me? But I'm saying that when you solve the problem for yourself, know that you are part of the solution. So come back. That's point number one. Point number two.
Come back to what?
Exactly.
Come back
to
and
what?
help.
How are you helping?
Come back to, no, wait.
The country does not allow you to help.
Who is the, wait, like if you say, like that's my challenge with you. You are saying that the person should go to US or UK to do whatever they want to do. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that? So okay, to what end? So they are so to the end of living a more comfortable life for themselves.
Hold on, I have a question for you.
No, you haven't answered me.
No,
first.
I'm coming. I'll answer you.
Because we have agreed that the person should go.
is yes,
but you are saying that when they go, they are supposed to come back and rebuild where they were, where they are from.
Bernard,
that's what they are supposed to do.
Sessinam, your good friend Sessinam.
No, stop using personal examples.
No,
because
but those are the experiences.
No, do you know why? Because people don't know the context, so don't misunderstand.
Okay, hold on.
Let's stick to the principle.
Okay, so
because you see,
Bernard,
you are making somebody's name to cause a
problem
issues.
Sorry,
so stay.
So we have a Ghanaian,
yes,
who is top of his game,
yes,
in a certain field,
yes,
decides to come back to his country,
yes,
with what he has built,
yes,
globally accepted,
yes,
globally,
yes,
won awards,
yes,
comes back and says, Ghana, this is what I have done, this is what I am offering to you, my country,
yes,
and the country looks him in the face and says, well, we will take something else, and that thing is nowhere near what this Ghanaian has done.
Yes.
Bernard, what you've done is not just about turning down that person. It's not a deal for that person. Mm-hmm. You've broken an emotional connection for that person. Bernard, you see,
it depends how you see it.
No,
because
Bernard,
you know why.
I'm coming. Hold on. And there are several elements to these stories. When I returned, for instance, the first time I always said this. Nobody ever spoke to me. I was one of the first, myself, Kwesi Akolache, and he wouldn't mind me mentioning his name, who came back from China, Dr. Lloyd Amwa, and that group. Lloyd came before us. He's our big brother, and all that. Who spoke to us?
Yeah, but if they don't speak to you, you can create a blog. You're on air. You can also speak to them. That's my point. The guy you referred to in your example, he's still here. The guy you referred to in your example about whose technology was not accepted, he's still here. You see, the point I'm making is that. You see, don't go for. But what the person? But
no longer here.
No, that's not the point.
I think there should be a convergence at some point.
I have agreed with you when you say that.
But I've also agreed with you.
No, but there's a fundamental point you are disagreeing, which is worrying me.
Okay.
You said they should come back and do what? That's my point.
Oh yeah,
because you see that question of and do what is a dereliction.
Is it?
Because I have said go. Add value to yourself. Improve your life. Your job as a citizen of Ghana is not just to improve yourself. Having improved yourself, come and give back. And that part of the equation has to be addressed. That's the premise of my whole commentary. I didn't say people shouldn't leave Ghana. I am saying that there was a cost to your training. And there's a certain privilege you have when you go out there, because not everybody who goes out even succeeds. Some people go out and they die.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you go and things are well for you, and you say, I should come back and do what? That suggests that you feel that you can only work in a system that is ready-made. And I'm saying that's not true. Because when you live as a 24-year-old and they are frustrating with bribes, when you come as a 45-year-old with 2 kids in university and you have relationships and links, it's not the same person.
You pay bribes?
It's the same system, but you are now a stronger person with better relationships and better knowledge.
But you still pay bribes?
That's not the point. The point, why? There's no society where there's no issues to deal with. So stop using that to pigeonhole me. I am saying that when you come back after 20 years, you are not the same person who left 20 years ago. Because now you've seen what works, you've seen what doesn't work. You are wiser and you are more empowered. You've paid for your house. You have some savings. Now you can decide to pick a part. You see, this is the challenge people have. Ghana will not all of a sudden solve itself. There's a part of the problem that you can solve. For example, I always give you, when you see bad writing, you notice it. On any platform, sometimes you call people who are even compared, they say, and then you can say, then Namuya was our station. How can you be writing stories like this? Do you get paid? It's because there's a part of the problem that you are qualified to solve. Now, if you, after 20 years of living in wherever, come back and see bad journalism, you can decide to say, look, every weekend, I'll go, like you do, you go back to your hometown and teach. You can say, Charlie, young journalists, come and let's do writing. Bad writing can lead to many problems. So you don't have to wait for Ghana to do everything. But if you decide that because the whole Ghana is the low down dirty popcorn, so you're not going to do anything for Ghana.
Langa, where are you? Shut up. I'm
not saying go and become an MPO. But you can say, well, I've learned to write at the highest level. Young journalists who come to Ghana who can't write well, come and let me show you how to write. That's if you do that and after 20 years you die, you've solved your problem. Because at least not all of us will be president of Ghana. In a lifetime, how many people can be president? Do you get it? Not how many people can be minister. So if you think that the problems in the world are just And I'm not trying to absolve politicians or anything. You don't get my point. I'm saying that a society doesn't fail when only politicians fail. A society, and you notice very soon enough that, in fact, some of your friends in politics from both sides will tell you that, Charlie, when you get into government, realize that there's a deeper issue. Now, that sometimes they say in a self-serving way to absolve themselves from their failed leadership. But I'm saying that you and I know, even within the context we work, there's so much more we can do, and there's so much difference you can make. Now, my theory of change is that you have a place in the society that you are best positioned to influence. When you go abroad or go for education, or you get better influence or better money or better connections, it is supposed to help to solve that problem that you see. So if you ask me, I should come back to what? Come back to work. That's my answer to you. Come back to what? You are not supposed to come back, live in a house in Transaco Valley, put on a big towel and drink Ausa Cocoa. You are supposed to come back and now do what you see wrong. That's what you do.
If the system will allow you.
Which system?
The system will allow you.
You're
talking about your own personal space.
Of course.
Yes, and that's what
professional
I'm talking
space.
about. Yes.
The reason you are influencing your professional space, you see, there are so many things you can't go to Ablekuma West and influence who wins the election today. But there's a certain professional competence and credibility you have within your media space that allows you to do a lot of things. So if you say the system, and you have grown enough horns to deal with the systems in media that will fight you. That's the point I'm making. So you are not helpless. You are not a victim alone. When you come back, you are part of the solution. Otherwise, you are the problem.
Bernard, last week,
Over to you.
End the debate.
Okay, I just want to relate.
Let's not talk. Let him finish.
But I need you to tell me what the mascot is. Is it nutmeg or beans?
We'll get to that. See, so last week, I went to supervise a project for a client of mine. When I was on my way back, I saw someone I thought I knew somewhere, right? So I rolled down my glass to talk to the person. Then I was still thinking, where do I know this person from? The person was almost like she couldn't walk.
Oh.
A huge bandage and what do you call it? The POP around her leg. So she was struggling to cross the road. So I had to talk to her that I know you somewhere, but what's wrong with you? And she was explaining that, she plays for one of our national teams. Went for glory for Ghana recently. Brought the cup back home. In the process, got injured. But she's now having to struggle for trotro in order to move from a hospital outside Accra to Accra, where she's based. Now, so I decided, okay, you get into the car. So I helped her, lifted her, and then she got into the vehicle. And then we got into a conversation, trying to understand what was the situation and all of that. Now, Bernard, listening to the story of this young woman, it was heartbreaking. Here's a person who had all the offers that had come her way to play for some other countries, right? But she decided that, no, let me do it with Ghana. Let me do it Ghana. Let me make it Ghana. And then she did it. Glory came, which glory was paraded, even in the Parliament of Ghana or, some other, the high places to celebrate that, Ghanaians have gone out and have brought this home. But to what end? So that this person got hurt in the process of making it Ghana, in the process of contributing her quota to the project Ghana. Yet, that person is struggling on the streets of Accra. Cars will not stop for her so that she could cross. Here's a national glory. So that it would have to take me to lift that person up and then take her all the way to where she was going. The state is not paying for even the medical bill. I saw her holding pieces of, painkillers and the X-ray, resource, and all of these things, and trying to struggle through the busy streets of Accra. The point I'm trying to make, Bernard, is that I get your point, and that is where I am always, if you like, minded to be when discussions like this come up. A couple of weeks ago, we had discussions like this. And I insisted that, look, we should not allow the people to even leave. My position was even extreme. That's right. That we should not leave. Let's help make it Ghana. Let's help make Ghana work. But Bernard, sometimes too, you hear the gospel from Godfred. That look, it is almost always difficult, majority of the times, to make it Ghana. Because there are things that should work. This lady that I was telling you about, ideally, in a country that is thinking about its heroes and heroines, if they go out and bring you glory, you don't allow that person to be hustling through the streets of Accra, having brought a cap back home. You don't do that. These are people who are paraded, in a glorifying way. You give glory to them. You celebrate them. You take them to schools so that they can make the younger ones talk to them about why it is possible to make it Ghana and still compel others to make things change.
So I agree with your point, and it's not opposite to what I have said.
Yeah, that's why
it's an additional point that we have to do. We should not create a problem for people who serve Ghana so that they now regret doing it.
Yeah, but
so
why?
even right now, as we speak, we can speak to the people in authority that, look, you know what? Things are hard enough. When you have former athletes and former sportsmen and things, a nation must honor its heroes. All right? And I agree. I'm grateful for media because, again, media can help. Because I remember I took a few. He was not well, the coach. We heard about it. We on air raised money and went to give him. He was so grateful because the media is such a powerful thing, because when you hear that Atuquefi is not in a good shape, a normal person can hear and go and give him money, but it's not the same as media. Now, when he listens to it, say, oh, Charlie, a radio station remembers what I did for Hearts of Folk, and they are commending me. It was powerful. So I'm not saying that's a solution to the problem, but I'm saying that even in highlighting it, is if the people have a conscience, it can start changing. Do you get it? So I agree with you, and I'm happy, and I want to thank you for raising this point. If it's possible to get the name of this person, we can, even while we discuss this, send it to the authorities and say, look, you cannot leave a former... It's not right. And it will shock you that a minister or somebody may hear it, even though there's no system, and say, Charlie, this is not good enough. Let's do something about it. And you've saved their life. So while we wait for the system to correct, while we work the system to correct, we can still do things in the now. So like this thing you are saying, we shouldn't wait for this person to die. We can actually take a picture of her, write to Yusuf and say, bro, you can't let this woman, and it will be something we can do while we solve the problem. I think we should read a few comments and then change track.
Plenty comments.
And
okay, let me read this.
No, I just want to ask, but you are much younger, and you've just been looking at us argue. Don't you think that this is something that, or you are still making up your mind about Ghana?
In terms of what?
Yeah, because you are young. Okay. I don't know where your mind is on this.
Do you want me to be brutally honest? I'll be brutally frank.
Yes.
I'm going to be very honest.
Yes.
If I get the chance to exit, I will.
Oh, Jesus.
Can I read the messages now?
No, I'm. You see, because you see, let me say
this guy has influenced you too much.
No, it's not that.
He's a free thinker.
No, you see, because Bernard, you.
No, but okay, fine. But if you go and succeed, will you come back?
Will I come back?
If you go and you succeed,
If I go and I succeed,
will you come back to come and help?
to come and help. Yes. Yeah, I can pop up every.
CTF, you are both champion station.
Oh, later.
No, listen. Let me finish.
Okay, finish. You finish me.
You see, because like Godfred was saying,
They say Brutus et2.
because you see, in all of this, there are very logical, basic economic questions every man has to answer. So when people make those moves, it's not like they don't care about their country. They've got to think about themselves.
Yeah.
Now, yes, so you asked me, and I'm only explaining. I'm rationalizing my side.
Okay.
Now, good. If I go and get all the knowledge in the world, would I want to help my country? So I don't know about getting but I want to get a PhD.
Yes, fine.
But you get money. You get your money.
And you have influence.
No, the point is, why not? I will help my country in whatever way possible.
Buy holiday home in Labadi and visit you once a year.
You understand? I will do what I can, because you see, for a lot of people, they are at a point where they look at the state, and the state is not doing anything for them.
I met a doctor on Heritage Caravan this year. He went to Suez School. And
Yeah,
he works
world
in one
class.
of the best hospitals.
World
in the
class.
world.
I know him.
He sent me a message last month that he's in Konongo somewhere. No, he's in the north.
North, yeah.
He's in the north with his friend doctors at his own cost. And they are doing medical outreach. He's done it in different parts of the country. He will go back and work, but every year he comes.
No problem. That is something most
Do you get me?
people are
And I'm saying that
willing
guy,
to do.
you may not know that what he's doing is good, but give him 5 years. The number of lives he will save,
see.
he'll probably end up building a big hospital.
see.
But let me
So
explain.
I am saying that guy is my ideal citizen. He left Ghana in the 70s. He hustled down. He's now at the top of his game in some big university hospital. He has influence. So he gets like 25 big doctors from America. They all pay their ticket. Every year they are in Ghana and they are working. That's the kind of thing we want.
Bernard,
wonderful.
And we are saying that he's paying back because this guy, he doesn't need to do it. He doesn't need to do it, but he's doing it.
Bernard.
So, but it means that there was something he experienced in Suezco, in Tech or Legon or wherever he went, that put a certain desire in him that even now that he succeeded, and he started coming back he's been coming back for years. So if they will have that presence of mind to say that I have something to give beyond, of course, when you are going now, your point is I want to survive. So I won't burden you with that. But I need to put in place a number of structures for you to think about Ghana in a way that when you go, you will always want to come.
Bernard,
That's fair.
look at me, for instance.
Yeah.
I've started a football academy.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm looking to sell the next player, because I also want to provide
Yes.
help. Because so I have kids in school. You understand? Not all of them will end up as footballers. Some of them will end up as other things. You understand? But I also get to the point where I ask myself, is it worth putting all this money? Because I have to pay for certain things. I'm paying for equipment. I'm paying for coaching. I'm paying for feeding. I'm paying for... No, I'm just saying, I don't make any... I might not make... Hold on. I might not make... I might do this for 5 years.
Yes.
I might not make a dime.
Yes.
Right? No problem. So that is my contribution. Now, I get to the point where I'm trying to navigate certain paths and I keep meeting institutional blocks. In spite of all the efforts that I am putting in my own small corner, as you are saying, as a citizen, to help. What are the institutional blocks? I don't have a place to send these kids to play football. If I need the kids to train, outside of all that I'm doing, I have to remove 300 Ghana cedis from my pocket to go and find them a football pitch to play on. For them to even be able to actualize their talent properly. Other than that, they are just kicking about in the sand. Okay? Those are the things that I would expect that rationally, whilst I am doing my bit with these 20 kids or 25 kids that I help, the society or the country that I live in's contribution to me is to make sure that when I pick up these kids, I can just walk to a place where at least there's a semblance of support that the state gives me.
If we overstretch your philanthropy, you get a point where you get to a breaking point.
Yes, because there's nowhere to go. Let me read you a story from the World Athletics Championships that generated this conversation. And this is an interview that has been granted by the African long jump champion, who's also Ghanaian, Deborah Akwa. She did not qualify. And this is a story by our good friend Fentu. Ghana let me down, Deborah Akwa. Ghanaian high jumper Deborah Akwa has lamented the country's neglect despite sacrificing through competing with an injury to win a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games in 2022. The 27-year-old picked up an injury in July last year during the World Championship in Oregon, USA, a week before the start of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The former Texas A&M student said she initially wanted to pull out of the competition to focus on recovery, but some Ghanaian officials convinced her to compete, with assurances that they would support her to undergo surgery after the championships. Desperate for help, she agreed and produced her best performance yet, a new national record jump of 6.94 to secure a bronze medal, one of Ghana's 5 medals at the competition. Quote, I honestly didn't want to come to Budapest because for the past 1 year, I've been battling an injury, but my head coach asked me to come and just get the season over. So my performance was actually very good, if you understand the circumstances. After the last Worlds, I didn't want to go to Birmingham, but then the Ghanaian officials, and I don't want to mention names because they know themselves, promised to take care of me. I went to Birmingham to compete. Initially, they said they would get a doctor to take care of me in Ghana once we returned. But when we got back, I didn't hear anything from them. Then they said I should go back to the US and they would find money for me to see a specialist here. That money didn't come either. So the past 1 year has been a real challenge. I had to take care of myself through that injury. And because I'm done with school now, I also had to pick up a job to support myself. Because of all that, I have not been able to train. And I've only competed once since Birmingham. She said, that's 2022. When we compete in the name of Ghana. I remember in 2021, when Azamati and I were world leaders in our events, the vice president, Mahmoud Bawumia, posted about it. It shows the pride we bring to the country when we do well. She concluded. So this is the story of Deborah.
But I thought you were going to read comments. But you,
I'm going to read the
but
comments.
you tabled more evidence. You know, this guy is not fair.
Sneaking in.
No, it's important.
You're supposed to read comments, not table further evidence.
Well, he applied for leave.
No, he didn't do that. Read the
For the
comments.
first time, Bernard is struggling to make a defense. Senior from Ashaman says, Godfred, that is a black Humpty Dumpty in a swimsuit, with reference to the new mascot that we were discussing. Good morning, Team City. As a young man growing, if I see what Professor Frimpong Boanti has gone through, even with his political influence, I don't think I'll be encouraged to return to Ghana if I have the opportunity to leave. Sorry. This is from Jeff Benade. Please call Professor Frimpong Boanti and ask him if he has regretted coming back to Ghana. Jaga from Kolebu says, Bernard, your role of playing devil's advocate today is holding water, because the political leadership and state institutions will kill your patriotism. They frustrate you and they milk you of whatever resources you have to invest in this country. Mustafa says, hello, Bernard.
I wasn't playing devil's advocate. I was actually
making a point,
saying what I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Mustafa
don't
says,
think I'm playing devil's advocate. I actually believe what I'm saying.
Okay, Mustafa says, patriotism does not put food on the table.
Yeah.
Who would want to live when the systems are working? The opportunities are limited, and where they even exist, the greedy politicians will not make them available to you. Emma from Teshi says, how can one be patriotic when you have to pay bribe even to be recruited to the army? Bernard, please, if you're a nurse and you have to wait 4 or 5 years after completing school to get an offer from government to work, and even this comes after several demonstrations to get employed before they finally take you, then what should we do? And look at how government treats workers, even if they are due for what they are asking. I don't think we will be happy to return. Supremo from Teshi. Bernard, I like the fact that you're preaching about patriotism, but I think the people who are frontiers in exhibiting that the values of the country are the ones destroying things. If our leaders are patriotic, the citizens will also be. Our leaders don't exhibit this, and so we cannot. Good morning, Citi CBS. This one says, Ghana is worse than the 80s because today's situation is leadership inflated. Hi, Citi CBS. I love this discussion turning into a debate. It looks like there is division on the subject. I think the main issue is that the grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. However, once you have stored enough hay from the other side of the fence, come home and help to reshape and nurture our own green grass. This topic needs a whole day to talk and 20 years to implement all the solutions.
It needs additional files.
And this message is from Kwame Nkansa, who is messaging us from Prague.
He's in Prague.
Czech Republic, very beautiful city.
What is he doing?
I hear.
Is he schooling? Is he
So
working?
he's growing the grass there
Growing
to
grass.
come and grow the grass here too. Bernard, and so people in authority have their kids living in this country. We shall all leave. I left Ghana to Ireland 2 months ago as a nurse. After a year or two, I'm bringing all my relatives here if I get the chance. Those who come back to help the country come alone because they have seen an opportunity to add to their CVs. And mostly, the benefits are enormous in these countries. Good morning, guys. Calm down. The talking you are talking will not change anything. I would never advise anyone to come and help in Ghana. What happened to the players who came in the past? Where are they? Please let us talk about something else this morning. Godfred is right. This is Kenamwaku Sena from Piki. Hi, Bernard. The problem is that Ghana does not have a systematic way of developing, harnessing, and deploying talent. Bernard, I am currently in the UK and work as a treasury manager with a global firm. I'm working with the same certificates for which I got no opportunity in Ghana to be employed and developed. If I was still in Ghana, it's not likely I would have reached this level. And the opportunities ahead of me are huge. This is all within 5 years of arriving in the UK. This is LT2. Good morning, Bernard. This is Victor from Ablekuma. My friend bought the military form 3 times in Ghana, but was not enlisted. Got the opportunity to travel to the US and applied only once to the army and was enlisted and now serves in the US. I've worked as a doctor for 13 years and I'm currently a senior specialist. I used to advise all my colleagues and engineers to stay in Ghana and help build, but now I've given up and I'll advise them to leave. I feel I've wasted too much time already in staying here. I'm preparing to leave. This is Dr. Kwesi Chum from Kumasi. Good morning, Citi CBS. I agree with all that Bernard is saying. But one factor that is negating all his point is the kind of environment we work in. The environment is full of political views. When you criticize, the environment fights you. You are deemed to belong to a political party. Why would I return knowing all these things will fight me? Bernard Pa, Madagana Ke.
Mother Ghana.
Anderson from Tema says, Bernard, you go explain Taya. Ben, if you stay in Ghana, where are the facilities to train to be able to compete at the highest level? Let them go and represent the country that trained them. Good morning, Bernard. It takes time, hard work, and a lot of dedication to build a country. The developed countries we all yearn to live in were built over long periods of time by patriotic citizens who, in spite of the challenges then, still chose to stay and build their countries to what we all see today. If all our citizens leave and never come back, who will stay to build and develop the country to where we want it to be? And guess where Sam is contributing from?
From Poznan.
From Poland. From the city of Poznan. Sam. Look at the way. Okay. Good morning. The submission of Bernard must be played every morning for us to be hopeful in this country we are in. Bernard believes in Ghana more than the president. This is Nathan Nabla from Amasaman. Bernard.
Let me make a point. So, are people saying that what I'm saying they agree but they won't take it, or that I'm wrong? Because you see, hope is a very important part of life. You see, so if you say that you will go, but those of us who want to stay, don't dissuade us from having hope. Do you get? Because you see, Sky, what is you asked me a question today. Say, what is life? What is life? What is life without hope? Today this morning, I need to say that Sky asked a very serious question. Yeah. He said, what is life?
Oh, no. It's a big question. Let me finish this.
What is life? Easy. What is life?
That'll be the question.
Anyway. Good morning, Citi. I'm a nurse with over 10 years working experience. The Ghana Health Service may boast by saying they have over 40,000 nurses to replace. But note, experience counts.
It's true.
The few left behind are burnt out and have no zeal to hand down training. It's basically show up to do what you can and leave. I didn't have any intention of leaving. As I look at my pay slip and the expenses, they balance. Note that we heard that there's a freeze on employment and IMF. So how will they absorb the 40,000? The concerned nurse from Tema sends this one. While you are right saying some or many of the people you know want to come back home, I know quite a number too who don't want to come back. So this one too says the system. No. But
yes.
I have some few friends from my university days who have left Ghana for Vietnam to teach. They are paid between $900 to $1,200. No disrespect, but Vietnam for greener pastures? This shows how our system is broken. And the youth will do everything to leave the country. Even for Ukraine. This is from Mashke, Inside Lands Commission. Bernard, do you expect these athletes to come and pay money to officials to be featured, as has mostly been the claim? Take, for instance, the Ghanaian-born British boxer who was disowned by the GB. Well, that was a miscommunication. He's actually fighting for Ghana now. He's looking to compete for a spot.
Frizzy.
Yeah, Frizzy, in the next Olympic Games in Paris. Hi, Bernard.
Yes.
Even if the parents succeed in convincing their children to represent Ghana, the children will be met with backwardness, disorganization, and a litigation-infested LOC.
Okay.
This is Jesse. Thanks, Richard. You said it all. It's not as their parents who, when they read of how those that are in the same situation like them have been treated, they find it difficult to pledge allegiance to Ghana. Let me read two more messages and then wrap this up for you, Bernard.
I want to make some money.
Yes. Good morning, CBS. The only thing that will let a naturalized citizen come down and do anything in Ghana will be to come around for political office. Dr. Jamina from Spain Text. And finally, Bernard, do you see what has happened to the likes of Tariq Lamptey, who plays for Brighton in the UK? This guy decided to play for Ghana, not England. Now, do we see him get playtime again?
Oh.
They won't develop your career again. This is why Callum Hudson-Odoi was not sure of coming to Ghana.
Tariq.
This is Michael.
No, you see, guys, sometimes we use, this is even wrong, because Tariq was here, he said he's injured.
Yes.
So it's not because he played for Ghana.
He's recovering.
For me, I don't see what people gain by denigrating their country. You can.
Only one
you see, that's it. I don't even know how people feel like. So it's okay. If you give up, what do you achieve? Yeah, so like, what's the benefit of saying things like this? All the examples you're giving are instances of bad things. Okay, now let's also talk about racism.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's talk about institutional stifling of your.
That's true.
They will overpass you and use some 2x4 white man because he's white and you are black. that system wasn't created by somebody.
Yes.
Let's admit that economically things are tough. So we'll go where things will help us. But let's not make it seem as if here, there be bad. Also, the places you are going to, there are many things there that you can't tell us too.
True.
If somebody also starts sending segments and telling you about how the UK, the things they do and all those things, look at knife crime in London. I have a lot of friends who don't want to raise their kids in the UK. In London, there are certain parts of London you live that your child is not safe.
Walk free.
Okay, so it's a question of perspective. And I'm saying that at the end of the day, this is where you are from. You have a responsibility to Ghana. So whether you want to, and I've been very careful to say people can go. All right? Yeah. But there are certain people who have a responsibility to now stay and fight.
That's also true.
Some of us, we don't have that luxury. That's why even some politicians, they are here, they want to win power because they believe Ghana is where it is. Yeah. So you see, there is a very qualified argument. There are people who have gotten to a stage in life where they have no choice. Charlie, when they calculate the thing, they go. We bless them, they forgo. I have siblings abroad. Okay? But I'm saying that all of us, at the end of the day, God put us here for a reason. And that reason should not be lost on us. Okay? And it's an appeal. It's just an appeal I'm making. Nobody has paid me to come and tell you not to go away. And I'm not doing PR for anybody. But I'm saying to you that the little I have seen about the Western world and the way they operate, I think I can get as much as I can from them because they have good systems. They have good track record. They'll develop you. I will take from them. The educational system helped me a lot. It opened my eyes to many things. So some of the things I tried to implement here, I went to learn it from there. Okay? But my pride will not make me, because there's something in me that will make me not want to. I can get a big salary in the UK, but I don't want my country to be ridiculed. Because when I went to do my MBA, I was telling this guy, there are people in my class I'm smarter than. Yet their countries are working better than my country. So what's the problem? And if you have knowledge that you cannot use to help yourself, it's not knowledge at all. So smartness is not just me could differ, me try munyina. Who try munyina so come a chrome na office no. Shinko so ye. It is a nyansa na we can to me in fast nyansa ni mba maya. And then nyansa. Do you get me? That's my argument. So we should use our collective. He got 3 prizes. Best student in European law, best graduating student, best something else. Competing with people from all over the world. Okay? He could have gotten a job working at the EU. But there's a certain pride that says, working in the EU, getting a good salary. When they talk about Ghana, hey, your president is here again, they are looking for help. That pride is not, do you get me? So and the truth is that this is not for everybody. You can go and work, but there are some people that say, no, Charlie, let me come back, let me do this, let me do my law, let me go and do ECOWAS something, just to help to let the system work small. Because there are people who live in those countries who are less smart than you, but they are getting more paid than you because their forefathers paid the price to create it for them. So you also don't want your children to grow up and be the smartest but come back to a low down dirty Ghana, which is why I am saying that you have a role to play in Ghana. That one, I can even lose the argument today, but I'll be proved right in time. You see, and I'm not interested in winning the argument today. I'm saying that when we are all old, when you and I are old,
when we are sitting by the seashore,
my brother,
at Anafio,
and you realize that the chance we had to change things and to do things the choice we made is a better choice because if you create a system that will outlive you, it's better. Because as for salary, everybody can get. People will get money from different places, but that's not the best use of life. So, Manuesi.
Let me just. So it says that, please thank Bernard and team for a highly critical topic this morning, as always. Please let them know that Ghana appreciates the effort, though they may not see it, or hear, or feel it directly. It is definitely worth the sacrifice. And Bernard articulated it very well. And the person goes on to say that, unfortunately, he does not have a number so that he could talk to us directly. But the point is, he's saying that what we are discussing is critical, is serious. It's a matter that speaks to the souls of many people. We may not know that people actually are immersed deeply in what we are discussing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's
and it means a lot to people. And that we are providing a certain direction. We may not feel the impact we are making. We may not hear it, and we may not see it immediately. But in the fullness of time, the person seems to have hope that things will work.
And that's what the song I'm playing is saying.
Just to wrap up from my end, I know I said this in Meth whilst making an argument with you and all that, but on a more serious note, and I know most of the time it sounds like I pick on the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the minister. It's not deliberate, but it's also because we want better. And I must say that if the ministry is hearing us, this mascot needs to be redesigned.
They will have to do it.
They need to change it. Okay, we don't know the processes they went through, but we have seen enough world-class material, and there are enough world-class agencies and designers in this country for something as significant as this event,
a continental event,
to put out something as shoddy as this. And I'm choosing my words carefully. This is very shoddy.
You could have even done a competition for it.
This is very shoddy
Involve
work.
the public. Like these
people
things.
can come up with great
Guys,
ideas.
let me
need to change
tell you
this.
something.
They should
Sometimes
change
we
it.
miss many points.
They should change
You
it.
can use the creation of a logo as a way of bringing the nation together.
So you
Young
put it
people
in
should design open it up. Let like I remember
But they are very creative
Yes.
young men and women
And for me,
who would have great ideas.
what I don't want to hear is post this. We'll go to Parliament, and Sky is going through the budget.
they'll say it's 200 million.
And they'll say that we paid $200,000, some agency $200,000
for this thing.
for an object we cannot identify.
This thing, let me put it quite mildly, is distinguished by its hopelessness.
Sky is a graphic designer. I mean, look at this.
Bernard, I mean,
They should open it. They should say, okay, this is what they call back to sender. So the minister should say back to sender. They should do a new
Minister
one.
won't change this. Look, the people at the presidency.
They should change it. They should
Yes.
change it.
Tell the minister to order an immediate redesign
Okay.
of this mascot. We will not be accepting
the
this.
logo.
Yeah.